There's a lot of controversy in the plein air community about using the color white to mix in with the other colors. Well, let me give you a little clarity on that. Now, the reason a lot of people object to using white is that white actually changes the character of color when you mix in it, especially some colors. It changes the character more than it does anything else. Let me show you sort of in the lines of physics what happens. So here's the color wheel. Well, look at how many of our colors on the color wheel actually have yellow in them, going all the way from blue, green over to red, orange. All those colors have yellow. When you add white, the addition of the chemicals or whatever's going on in there is more light thing than anything else, subtracts the warmth out of the yellow. Subtracts the warmth out of the colors, subtracts the yellow of the colors. And so the color not only just raises in value, but it becomes cooler. Now, the same thing can happen over in these cooler colors too, but it's not as obvious. So a lot of people will say, well, don't use white until the end, or if you're going to raise the value, raise it with another color. Well, let me tell you, that's not always the answer, because you might not have another color that's going to that will both raise the value and give you the color you want. So I have a suggestion for you here. Now let's just first of all, I just want to focus on one color. Let's take the color green, and you know there are many variations of the color green, but let's take just one. Now I have here a green that I've mixed with the Rembrandt Viridian and the Rembrandt Transparent Oxide Red. That gives me kind of a sap green. It's about the same color as the Daniel Smith sap green. And so here it is in its darkest form. And I'll just make a little splotch right here to show you that it's sort of it leans a little bit more towards a natural green. Now, if I want to raise the value of that green, and if I used white, if I just pull white in and raise the value of that green, I'll just put a little bit of it, I'll raise it to about a middle value and put it right beside it, and you can see it actually makes it duller. It makes it duller and cools it off. Well, I can go through another step before I add the white. I can pull a little yellow in the brush. In fact, I could do that right here. Raise the value and then bring a little yellow into that. This is the Hansa yellow light, but it wouldn't, any of the lighter yellows are going to do. Now look at the difference. You can feel that. You can feel the vibrance, and the degree to which I add yellow gives the vibrance back into the green. So there you are. And this green, feels warmer and more like it would be a raised value of this green. Now there's another option too. We have several opportunities for adding yellow. We could add the brighter yellows, which are like Hansa yellow light, cadmium lemon, those very bright yellows. We could add those, or we could add the more neutralized yellows, such as Naples yellow. Now, I have heard one artist say that she uses Naples yellow altogether for raising the values on her palette. To me, that's a little bit restricting, but that is a possibility, and let me show you the difference here. If you raise the value with a more neutral yellow, I've got here the Rembrandt yellow ochre light, which is my favorite neutralized yellow. So if I take here, for example, the same sap green color, and I'm going to go through the same sequence again, where I take that same sap green color, come right over here and raise the value. I'll try to get that just about the same value so we'll have something to compare it with that makes sense, like that, and then put it right beside it. And there is, again, the same thing as we have here. Now let's put just a little bit of the yellow ochre light in it and show you the difference in the character. You see what happens there? It warms it, but it keeps it more neutral. That is useful because it could be, let's put just a little bit more. Let's see how far I can push that before it begins to actually turn to yellow green. There we go. So you see, it pushes that, it warms it up again. It gives us the feeling of the same character of green, but it feels a little more subdued, like it might be more like a winter lighter green than it would be a spring green. This would be more like a spring green. This would be more like winter green. So whether you use the brighter, the higher saturation or higher chroma yellow to add that warmth back into the color, would be determined by the character of the yellow, of the green that you wanted. So you could go either way, but either way you're going to add back that warmth that adding white subtracts out of the yellow. And one other option, which is actually very much the same as the yellow ochre light, is this Rembrandt cadmium orange, or cadmium yellow deep, which is really a yellow orange. So if we do a similar thing with that, now you might ask, well, then why can't we just add just the straight color? Well, let's do that. Let's add just, and you see it takes quite a bit more to really raise the value. But if you add just a straight color, and you see, and now I'm getting there now. If you add just a straight color, not only are you going to change the temperature, you're going to change the color. So see what happens if you add just the color. Then we change it to a different color of, it's almost a yellow orange now, or kind of almost a muted yellow orange green. So that's the reason why we would use that yellow orange just to tint, or just to put that warmth back in. Now I want to show you, as I almost started to do that time and then got distracted by it, but I want to show you what the yellow orange would do. I want to show you now the difference. So I'm again, same thing as I did here, adding just the white into my green. Now I'm going to put just a touch of yellow orange, which is the Rembrandt, Rembrandt cadmium yellow deep, and let's put this here. You see, that is very close to what we have here. If you're looking at it really close, you can see that this is a little bit more vibrant than this is, but you have those three options for raising that temperature. Now I just used green as the example for you to show you what happens, but any color, starting with the orange, going over from the oranges to the reds, moving along with all the colors of the warm colors, and then moving over into the greens and the blue greens especially, and also some of the red violets, all those colors, you can add that warmth back in. You don't have to depend on going to another tube color that's a little bit lighter. You can adjust the white with a little bit of warm color as you raise the value, and you'll see then that will give you a whole lot more control. It will give you a lighter color that's in the same character of color that you have in your original color. So you might play around with that just a little bit, play around with it with different tubes of colors, especially when you're working with the darker, more transparent colors, where we're going to raise the value of them, we have to add something lighter. And we can use white to add to raise the value or to get those colors lighter, as long as we add the warmth back in. So if you enjoyed this quick tip, why not check our instructional videos? We have a wide array of topics, of compositional topics, which we've done full-length instructional tutorials on video in downloads and DVDs. Go to our site at DianneMize.com and give it a try. And there's your quick tip.